Hello everybody. I will be properly online in just a minute. Let's have a look. Hello! It's been so long. It's been a very long time since I have been streaming. Let's turn the music down for me. I'll keep it turned up for you guys. Hopefully the levels are all good. Yeah, I apologise for my absence. It has been 2 weeks, I think, since I was last streaming. The first was due to the Queen's Jubilee. The lovely old Queenie meant we all got some extra holiday, which we went off and enjoyed immeasurably. And then last week, unfortunately, I was not very well. But I am back this week with abandon, and you'll be pleased to hear that I have managed to move quite a lot further on with my comics since I last streamed. So where I did get some days off, I wasn't just sat on my bottom, I was doing some comic stuff. So the first sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sort of main comic book pages are now all done. And I've also, you won't be able to see it too well on your screen, I don't think, but with some of these later pages I've also been working on the line work. So although, you know, the first 8 are kind of, they are there artwork wise, I've still got all the lettering to do, but I figure that is my next challenge once the artwork is done. I from a line work point of view, yeah, there are little bits here and there, like actually the page I work on today, I want to do a bit of work on some of the line work on that, but actually we're getting there. I've got some extra pages to draw at the end that I, in the rewrite I did a couple of months ago, are still standing empty, and I've added a page in the middle just to be really awkward with myself, but actually I think what I'm drawing now, with the benefit of a bit of experience under my belt, is much better. So I'm just going to open this one as well, just because I will be stealing some of the colours and whatnot for here. So this is the second time, this is my new redraw of a page where one of the band members gets attacked by a monster. The first monster I drew was pretty scary, but I don't know, I'm not really a monster drawer, so it didn't quite fit the bill. It wasn't, I don't know, in your face enough. It felt more like, you know, an artist's impression of a monster as opposed to really conveying that urgency of something's coming to get you. So I redrew this page last week, I think it was, and I tried to make this sort of skull bellboy type creature. A little bit more ominous, a little bit more aggressive, added a lot more detail. So I'm actually really happy with this line work of El Skeletor. But these top ones up here, particularly this thing here, I've drawn poor Will with his mouth open in a not particularly flattering fashion. But actually, I don't like that mouth at all. And actually, I think for someone who's, ooh, I don't want that. I want the hard brush. Yeah, I'm just not keen on this sort of facial angly type thing. I think it doesn't quite look right. So my plan this evening was to, yeah, I don't think I've got anything going on there. No. Was to try and map out where the corners of the mouth are going to go, so sort of over here. No, I'm not angled that correctly. Oh yeah. So the eyes are about right. What I haven't done is just kind of worked out. Everything else is going to sit. Not quite sure that's done at the moment, but Maybe that's a little closer. Get rid of this planning line. Don't know, I think I'm going to have to do tried and tested, flip that sausage, flip it the other way up, and let's see what kind of facial shenanigans. Oh no. Do you know what, the face isn't bad, it's the rest of the head that doesn't match. Right, let's just get rid of all of this. Let's start from the beginning, Sarah, because your proportions, your facial proportions or whatnot, I'm not telling up. It's not that, like, you know, when someone is scared and they're all like, scary. Oh, hi, Zuchilbara. When somebody's all sort of scrunched up and scared, they're not going to look, you know, their most attractive, but still isn't quite meeting the Sarah. Let's try fiddling about with someone that's supposed to look, you know, like they're about to crap their pants scared, and I'll admit it's not a look I am. Maybe sort of there. Yeah, maybe that's a bit better. A look that I'm massively familiar with. Of course, this deselect hotkeys don't work. That would be too easy. So I did use a reference, I think, when I was drawing this, but there we go. That makes a bit less. I kind of wanted to have like a no, don't. So hang on. Shoulder up. No, other way. Shoulder up. Cowering. Dude, hurt me. Like that, like that. Okay, so we're gonna have. Don't like that intersecting. No intersecting on Sarah's watch. Good old fingers. Always such a pain in the bum to draw. I don't like that hand position at all. Nil point. No. And actually, can I get rid of this skull line up? Because I think that might be okay. Putting me off slightly. So if that's like that. Finger, 2 finger, 3 finger, 4 finger. That'll do. That'll do. That'll do, pig. I'm good. I was unwell last week, hence the lack of stream, and we had a UK holiday the week before, so it feels a little bit weird being back after a couple of weeks hiatus, but no, I'm really good. I've done a lot of work on the comic whilst I've been away from Streamyland. And that's made me really happy, and I guess it's official now. I can tell people that I've got a new job, and I'm going to go work for Channel 4, which is very exciting. And yeah, so life is actually pretty peachy keen. Yeah, just sort of preparing for summer holidays with the little mini-me, and yeah, cooking in the sun a little bit over here in the UK, which we're very much not used to. We don't cope well with extreme cold, and we definitely don't cope well with extreme heat. In fact, us Brits, we seem to cope the best when it's kind of drizzly or you know, sort of in that kind of no man's land of weather. But yeah, it is very warm, and I put on long sleeves thinking, oh, the sun's starting to go down, it'll get cold, and that may have been a mistake because I'm still pretty toasty. And every now and then a cat comes along and yells at me. He's left again. Where'd you go, Regal? Are you down there? No. Had a kitty. And how are you, Zuchilbara? That is true. USA, you get the whole shebang, don't you? Especially the tornadoes and stuff. Are you in a tornado zone? Or I'm trying to think what other extreme weather things you get over in America. Tornadoes. We get hurricanes as well, so you don't get the monopoly on that one. But tornadoes, I think, is kind of your speciality. And raining frogs. Hellfire. I've heard all of that goes on in the USA. Oh wow, yeah, you really are getting the whole shebang, aren't you? Yes, America has always seemed to me so white and grey, so Pacific Northwest, white and grey, occasional heat, winter. My geography is super poor, so Pacific Northwest, is that California side, or is that New Yorkie side? That's kind of my 2 points of reference. I know where New York is, and I know where San Francisco is. Yes. California side. Ah. So kind of Seattle-y sort of area. I've heard that's quite a... And again, my references is the film Twilight, but I hear kind of around the Seattle area is quite wet and grey. Look at me go with my... Ah, very nice. I have been to San Francisco, very cool city. But that is the only place I have been in America. Ah, very nice. I've always wanted to go to Seattle. that's all my kind of like, if you guys get a little bit less gun happy, it's on my list of places to visit. That and New York, Seattle, and I'd like to take my husband to San Francisco at some point because Haight Street is just awesome, or it certainly was when I went over in 2009. That was like my little mecca, arty mecca. Trying to think if there's anywhere else sort of USA orientated. That's good to know. Okay, so I'm less likely to be shot in Seattle because I do, like, you know, I tend to be quite bubbly and sort of blunder into bars and stuff a bit too chirpy, and I'm like, ugh, I'm just annoying enough that I feel I'd get shot in America. Oh, that's good. Okay, alrighty, so I can keep that on my sort of when I can afford to travel list. Because yeah, I don't think my hubby's ever been to America. And I would like to take him because it was so... everything is so big. Like, and I don't just mean portion sizes, because I know everybody rattles on about Americans and yeah, big old bowls of pasta and whatnot, but it was just everything was huge. Because in England, tiny island, everything has to be kind of tiny. So tiny roads, tiny houses, tiny shops, and everything's kind of squashed together. 32-ounce sodas. Oh my god. Yeah. Well, I just but bomb as meat pies. Oh, yeah. Well, it's just like yeah, I just remember going to restaurants and yes, your portion sizes are massive. But for me it was the biggest like mad thing was getting in the cab from the airport to the little apartment thing we'd rented for the week in San Francisco, and just your roads are huge, your cars are monster. Like just being in this like so we call them taxis over here, but your cabs, it was just like I feel so teeny tiny, everything is huge. So yes, if you want to feel like a teeny tiny person, if you're British, go to America. You will feel teeny tiny. Cool. I can't remember where we used to stay, but I'm guessing you're probably aware that every year they have the Game Developers Conference. Very cool. Well, I went to the Game Developer Conference in 2009. That was kind of my first taste of my first and only taste of the States, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I met some really cool people and saw some really cool things, and I went to the Hello Kitty shop. Really want to go back to the Hello Kitty shop. I was too poor to buy anything from the Hello Kitty shop, but I just remember being like, oh my god, there is a shop here that is just Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty. I'm trying to think what else I remember. I went to a little art shop that I found, and I've still got the sketchbook that I bought from there. Well, I think this is the one, might be this one here, actually. If there's anything in it anymore, because I ripped out a lot of my sketches. Yes. So I love Final Fantasy VIII, and in my San Francisco sketchbook I drew a load of Final Fantasy VIII themed cats. Woo, kitty! And I did a little portrait of my daughter when she must have been about 4 months old there. That's in my San Francisco sketchbook. Oh wow! I definitely did go to Starbucks. How mad is that? The world is so tiny. Oh my gosh, and back when I had my first 20 followers on Instagram, I did, where's it gone, that? But this is all my San Francisco sketchbook. Yeah, I need to take a proper scan of these cats. Are there other things in here? Is there anything else? I kind of half love and half dread looking at old sketchbooks because some of it is just utter. Oh, in fact, I drew that, I think, from memory, on the aeroplane on the way home from San Francisco, because I'm terrified of flying, so an 11-hour flight was a big deal for me. So I drew a little angel cat to kind of keep me from going mad on the flight on the way home. That's cool. I'd forgotten about this sketchbook. I like it when I remember stuff like this. I'm sure. Oh yeah, I did a little Iron Man kitty as well. Oh, he's quite cute, Tubby. Here's a little tubby fella. Sorry, this is where you lose me for a minute. Oh yeah, when I first I wrote when my daughter was really tiny, I wrote a children's book that I did try and get I tried to find an agent and everything and tried to get it published. This is where I did all the initial sketches for it, and I found the first draft of the story. Oh my god, right, yeah, give me a minute. Just taking a little trip down memory lane. I do draw a lot of rubbish sometimes, but there's some alright stuff in here. I mean, this is what, 2009? How many years? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years ago? Huh. That's funny. Yeah, that was from a tiny little. It was walking distance from town centre because it's. In fact, it was walking distance from Chinatown because that was it. It was a good day. Hi Zane. I was talking about when I went to San Francisco back in 2009. But I went to Chinatown, and after some very nice old Chinese ladies had stroked me for 10 minutes, I have no idea what they were saying to me, but they were very strokey. I then went to get some dim sum, and I sat down, and I thought this lovely lady who obviously ran this dim sum restaurant came up to me, and I thought, oh, she's going to give me a menu or something. She went, no. I know what you're like. You just sit. I bring. And I was like, okay. This is very mad. And best dim sum I've ever had. It was so, I have no idea what I ate, but it was so good. So good. And then I walked from Chinatown to this little art shop that was sort of round the back of one of the big... Yeah, I know. Well, here in the UK, if you go to a dim sum restaurant, there are menus. You pick what dim sum you want. But yeah, in this thing, it was just like, nah, I bring you. You'll like it. Yeah, and yeah, walked down to this little art shop that sort of tucked in around the back of one of the giant. I mean, all your buildings seem huge to me. Oh really? Oh no, this lady. There was no cart. It was a proper back alley kind of dim sum place that I'd sort of stumbled down because. I was feeling brave, and yeah, there was no cart or anything. She literally just handed me dim sum, and I ate it, and it was so good, so tasty. I regret nothing. So yeah, forgotten about that trip to San Francisco. It was good. I just wish my hubby had been with me, because it was a work trip. I did not get to take him with me. Oh, that must have been pre-Holly as well. I suppose my daughter. So yeah, I went out there before I had Holly. And do you know what is really funny? And if you ever watch this, Jens, you may or may not remember me. But I've forgotten his surname. But there was this lovely chap, ginger hair and a ponytail, ginger beard. And he and I became friends during the convention, and he was working on a new game that he showed me on his phone that I thought was butt ugly, where everything was a cube. This is sounding familiar to anyone? And I remember him showing me, and it was I think it was early Minecraft that he was working on at the time, and I didn't know it, but it went on to become this amazing game that I play with my daughter that I absolutely love. But yeah, I have met Jens, who's I think he's one of the programmers, and I got to see on his phone just an early thing of Minecraft, and it was just, I look back at that and I'm like, that's mad. Just goes to show you should always be nice to everybody you meet, because you never know when they're going to become a Minecraft megastar. So yeah, that's my sort of one and only claim to fame. But yeah, I was showcasing Cletus Clay, which was up for an award whilst I was there, and yeah, it was really good fun. Really good fun. Right, art. I'm supposed to be doing art. See, this is the problem with streaming. It's never productive art time because I start yammering. But anyway, Zane, how are you? Is life good? Oh, that is good news. You have to tell us all where we can read your story again when it's done. Don't mind me, I'm just googling fear facial expressions because I want to do the thing, you know, where somebody's like scared and they got like a crinkly chin. Hang on, I'll try and do it on camera. Oh, that's a face radio. Oh, I hear creaking. Oh, it's the new. We've got this new electronic cat feeder. I don't know if you can hear it. But it's what you can do is you can program in like. Oh, it's freaking me out. You can program in. Oh, a different story. Oh, I will need to hear more, especially because I love a bit of sci-fi. Once I finished the why I'm freaking out. But we got this electronic cat feeder that when you program in the time, you can also record yourself going food time, kiddies, or whatever. But my daughter decided to do it, and I think she's saying food, but it's like, you know, when you're watching a horror movie and there's a small child that's like, come play with us. Well, she's recorded it in that kind of tone. So when this electronic automatic cat feeder, the time comes to feed the cats, all I hear is woo, woo, and I'm like, what is it? Yes, please. I would love a description of everything. Now that I've relayed the horror of my electronic cat feeder, I would love to hear about your story. Whilst I, on another screen, try and find... Okay. So most of the ones I've seen where it's like genuine fear, it's actually more wrinkly forehead than wrinkly chin. That's interesting to know. Oh, there are some weird and some of them quite funny. Oh, pardon me. Some very funny pictures on Google. Some of them are just horrible, but some of them are... What the hell is that? Ew. Some of these look like Victorian-esque kind of... No. Some of these are sort of Victorian-esque type photos and they're a little bit... Whoa. No, I don't like that. Don't like that. In a world where a war against aliens has been going on for decades, a girl gets taken for information to become a host for an alien. The unknown alien did not eat her, her body absorbed it, and she transformed us to get as much input as she can while not being found out. Ooh, I like it. Oh, I can imagine there's lots of different ways you can kind of take that sort of story forward. That's very cool. I'm not having a good draw hands day today. Oh wow, that is very impressive. Very, very impressive. I don't actually know the word count of my comic. What am I doing? Got me thinking now, Zane. How many words is my comic? It's definitely not 11,000. I know that for sure. Nope. Let's have a look. So, is it review? View. References, mailings, help, track changes, accept, compare, hide and protect. I thought it generally said somewhere where how many words somewhere. Oh, here we go. 2,851 words, and I expect at least 500 of those are just me going which page it is, which page and which panel. I need to actually write out what's going in these page 1 and 2. But yeah, this is kind of how my, in case you guys are interested, this is how my comic book scripts look. So once I've done the cover goes on because it makes me, I like it when stuff is pretty. And then it is kind of page by page, sort of what's happening in each panel. I mean, I'm lucky because I'm the artist and the writer. I don't necessarily have to write massive descriptions. Like if I was just a writer, I'd need to sort of explain to the artist what needs to be shown in each panel, whereas I can kind of make it up as I go along to some degree if I want to, or I might draw little thumbnails and things. But I have, this is the sort of the proper script. Do not save. No changes today. But I also carry around this notebook which has got lots of things sticking out the top, and it's got sort of character summaries, key plot points. The first draft of the script was written in here, utter mess. And the more I wrote, the more I was like, I should have done this in Word. I mean, look at that. Look at the state of that. It's bad. And then I've got like ideas for things to include. There's even some stuff I might try and slip in this particular comic issue. I also went and spoke to a really helpful lady at my local comic book store who was like, actually, until you've nearly finished your second issue, you should not put your first issue out to retail, which is very interesting, but it does mean it's going to be a very long time before this comic sees the light of day, which made me a bit sad. I was like, no, it's going to take me like a year just to do one issue. So it means I probably will release issue 1 early next year, and then release issue 2 6 months after that is kind of the plan, for retail anyway. I might do a limited run for Esoterica fans, so when the first one's ready, like I'll do just a limited physical copy run anyway. I might just bung the first one up on Kindle. Oh wow, you're writing a trash fantasy novel, Zujafara. That's amazing. Years and years off and on. That's like me in this comic. Well, fewer words, but it's going to take me years and years off and on. Tis better. Tis better, and I will cope with it. Especially because when I put the big old scary scallybobs back in, you won't see most of that hand anyway. I don't know, there's still something. Oh, I know why. I remember now. I think now my problem is that I've made Will's head Captain Frankenstein. Bit too much of a bouffant. This panel also needs a little bit of work, I think. Actually working on the Gothic Horror Christmas parody poem as I look. Gothic Horror Christmas parody poem? Wait, Christmas? Gothic Horror Christmas parody poem. So is that sort of like Scrooge-esque type thing? That's okay. I prefer not normal. Means I'm among my kind. What was this one? No, that was Scribbly Scribble. Let's reduce you down, stick a layer on top, and let's Actually, I think I need to flip this one around. Okay, That'll do. So, Paramour, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. God, that's in you, I think. Ooh. Thank you. I heard my phone bing. I will assume that is fabulous. I will click on that. I didn't know that 'Twas the Night Before Christmas and All Through the House Not a Creature Was Stirring, Not Even a Mouse was an American one. I thought us Brits did that one. Not that I'm going to quibble particularly. Ooh, fabulous. Thank you for letting me have a little read of that. Oh wow, I like this. Right, okay, I'm not going to read it all now because obviously midstream, but this is really good. Zane, you're going to have to send me links for some of your stuff too, because I don't know about you guys, but I love reading books. I go through at least a book a week. But I finished the book sort of series I've been reading last night, so I'm on the hunt. Cool, it would be like a terrifying picture book. I love it. I love an adult picture book. One of my favourites is called Go the Fuck to Sleep, and it's brilliant. Will that link expire at any point, Zootilbar, or will I be able to read it after my stream? Fabulous. Yeah, I don't know anything like that. But I'm also on the hunt for fantasy book recommendations. Like, I have to read to get to sleep. Yes. Fabulous. I will do. I mean, it is very long, but I know that probably won't keep me busy for very long. So, Zane, if you have stories that I can read, or if anyone has any book recommendations, I'm on the hunt. I have a bit of a thing for what they very unfortunately call vagina fantasy, which just seems to be a really catty way of saying fantasy books where there's a female protagonist and there's a bit of hanky-panky in it. But most fantasy books that are for adults have a bit of hanky-panky in it. But they seem to be my favourite genre, or at least the genre that kind of I enjoy reading. So yeah, but I really hate that name. Like, I don't know, I think it would be worse if they said it was like fantasy chick fic fantasy would be worse. But yeah, vagina fantasy books seem to be my thing. Oh, we need to come up with we're all creatives here. My husband does. Do you know what? Those Zootilbar, my husband steals my Kindle logins. He can read. He can read it all. Yes, smutty fantasy. And there's a author called Kaylee something. Oh, it's gonna bug me. And she writes very good fantasy smut. Fantasy smut, that's what I'm going to call it. I like a bit of fantasy smut, but it has to be good fantasy. It can't just be like, you know, like crappy smut. It can't just jump straight into smut. It has to be like an actual good story, but with a bit of smut in it. That makes me happy. Oh yeah, I like that smutty fantasy. Ideally with a female protagonist, just because, you know, why not? And because there's so many books where it's like boys and men becoming warriors and blah blah blah. It's a bit fabulous. We'd get on well. We'd have a good book club. Your wifey and my hubby and me and you.
You know everything. That's funny. Hubby has a separate Amazon account, but that's just that he can successfully buy my birthday presents without me knowing what. But the Kindle accounts are very much linked. And it works well in this household. Yes, I remember. I remember what I was doing now. Oh, that's cute that you guys do that sort of stuff together. I'm not so much into the I can never pronounce it, the Yuri or the Yaoi. Yeah. Although saying that, I watched a good Yuri with ice skating in it that was kind of cute. But yeah, normally I like the sort of Mercedes. I want to say silver Mercedes. It's going to bug me now. Where's my Kindle? Where's my Kindle? Oh god, this feels like I'm getting very personal with you guys and opening up my Kindle and reading out some of the books I've read. And and this is again is why it's kind of called vagina fantasy, is that not all of them are smutty, but there's some element of romance in there. Who am I reading at the moment? Let's have a look. Sylvia Mercedes. So I've been reading her books. They're not particularly smutty, but they are enjoyable and a bit like, oh, the prince. Here we go. Catherine Ann Kingsley. Highly recommend if you like good fantasy with a bit of smut. And she's funny. Like, I love her style of writing, but I've sort of read everything. But if you like blah 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 blah. No. The Maze of Shadow books by Catherine Ann Kingsley. I highly recommend those. Among my kindred weirdos, that's good. That makes me feel better. Although I am broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook, so there may be like non-weirdos out there watching this, but that's okay. You're welcome to infiltrate my Kindle list. So I think I also like a bit of Elise Cover, but that is quite sort of soft, romancy type stuff. What else is going on in my Kindle list? See, I have Kindle Unlimited because I just munched my way through books. What else is in my library? Got a lot of Terry Pratchett. I've read most of the Terry Pratchett books now. Mercedes Lackey. Her books are really good. Like, they're very gentle, not smutty, but they are very good for kind of. She's written this sort of what are they called? Elemental Masters, and they're quite gentle, but they're very good. Like, it's a good style of writing. Book about dragons and a human princess. I don't know how it's going to play out. She told me that they magically had a human form, and looking at it was man. The author bist it out. If you're going to go drag times you got to go the distance. I read some really messed up books when I was a teenager. Like, there was one called Sea Dragon's Hair, and being what must I have been 15 at the time, and you know how like teenagers are like, ew, oh my god, ew. Well, this was an oh my god, ew book. We couldn't believe that our school had this particular book in the library because it had like a massive incest scene, and I remember me and my friends continuously taking this book out so we could go and sit in our schoolhouse and flick to the bit with the gross incest, and then one of us would read it and like try not to cringe. Oh my god, it's so childish but so much fun. And that was called Sea Dragon's Hair. And then there was another set of books. Hey Charlie, we're just talking about fantasy books, and I'm on the hunt for some new fantasy books because I've sort of read through my entire Kindle library. I've got one book left that I'm currently reading, but when I've read through that, it's back to trawling Kindle Unlimited for forever. And we were sort of talking book recommendations, and I was talking about this terrible book that me and my friends found when we were at school that had incest in it, and how we, being very childish teenagers, would take it repeatedly out the library just to read it out loud to each other and gross each other out. In regards to love is love if it's consensual. think I find it a bit grim. And it's like totes illegal over here. So probably a little bit. And I can't quite remember what the thing was, but it wasn't a pleasant, filled with love and romance type scene. It was definitely one of those type things. Yeah, I don't think I would want to be the product of such a union. I think there are some, you know, questionable things. But to be fair, I had to get my cats snipped because they're brother and sister, and they started, well, the boy cat started trying to make babies with the girl cat, and that was not a good plan. So, yeah. There was another book that and Charlie, you might know this because you've read a lot of fantasy books, but there's a set of books that I read when I was a teenager, and I don't remember the author and I don't remember the titles, but I do remember they were really well written, and it was about a woman that could turn into a wolf, and like a whole sort of subspecies of people, kind of werewolfish. And I remember her, like, you know, when she turned into a wolf, when she turned back into a human, she'd be really skinny and have to feed herself up because it took extra energy being a wolf. And it was like a big romantic saga over a couple of books, I think. And I've never been able to find the title, the author, and it's one of those where I'm sure if someone told me the title, or probably the title more than the author, I'd remember it. And that bugs me. That bugs me a lot. You know, when you read a good book. But yes, Charlie, please send me some good fantasy book suggestions, ideally with female protagonists, just because I'm a bit bored of reading, you know, I'm a boy, I become a warrior, I become a man, I save the damsel. Like, slight alternative fantasies where, like, you know, doesn't quite fit that mould would be fabulous. Like, I love David Eddings, even though he turned out to be a bit eepy cray. I really enjoyed this sort of Tamuli and type ones. Well, I only read the first sort of 10 or so lines of the poem, but I did like the poem Zuchalbara. They were very much, it was my kind of cup of tea. Anywho, drawing, art. Supposed to be making comics and sat here rattling on. Oh no, that's not the pen tool. That apparently is also not the pen tool. Am I doing this on a... Oh. I know why. It's because I'm being special. There we go. Yes, I forget. I always forget about the time difference. Kitty. Yeah, kitty kitty. Oh, Charlie, you also missed me getting
scared of my new electronic cat feeder. Come here, kitty. Come on. Or don't. Yes, there's food. Something's still not right about this one. I think I've made his mouth too tiny. Let's fix that. Yeah, that's better. No more teeny tiny mouth. Much better. Okay, right, and then back to this frame, I need to do some detailing. It's not the pen tool again. Whoa, kitty! Did you hear that little pathetic mew? Say hi. Come on. Come on. This is Moogle. Moogle boy. Hello, beautiful. Aren't you cutie? He's a cute patootie. You're a cute patootie. I'm a cute patootie. Are you sad because I haven't given you wet food? But if I give you wet food, all the flies come. Yes. Little pinprick things and big grimacy mouth. Hello to, say hello to everybody. Say hello. But you're regretting coming over here and mewing at me now, aren't you? Look, I'll give you some wet food in a minute. But you've got loads of dry. You do. Damn it. You do. Oh, did I find a spot? Did I? That's nice. This is my special needs cat. Special needs, aren't you? Because he's got something called pillow foot, which makes all his paddy paws on his feet swell up. And we've had all the tests and stuff. We've got no idea why. It just means that you're a little tiny cat with big, giant paddy paws that swell up. In fact, they're not looking too bad at the moment. Oh, that's good. That's good. How are your back feet doing, buddy? A little bit swollen. They're not too bad, are they? Oh, He's my little baby. Oh, my little baby. Do you want to leave now? You go and meow at somebody else about food. Oh, go on then. Walk your trot. Oh, ideally not there. You just see his little tail. You're gonna step all over everything now, are you, buddy? The fishies are in there. Sorry, I am ignoring you all because my cat has arrived. Hey, buddy. One of my cats has arrived. I have many. Little cat moustache. Don't think he thought too much of that. Oh, that's a lot of cat butt in my face. Ew. You can come and sit on my lap, or you can go over there. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Stanky kitty. Oh, I made the mistake of mowing the grass at lunchtime, and my nose is very dribbly. Oh, right. Let's check I've got the right there. Yes, I do. And this cheek, because I'm lazy. But in the frame that this is in, is standing in front of a stone, not a brick wall, but a stone wall. To do me some stones behind this fella. Oh dear. I hope there's no other hay fever sufferers out there, because I do feel your pain. Almost see you all. There we go. Now I can see you all. What I do like about this scene is on the page before, which is this one, I've got Will spots a kitty. There he goes, here kitty kitty, and this thing is sort of appearing in front of him, and then sort of scary thing kind of creeping up on Will. These two kind of noticing that something's not quite right, going like, what the hell is that? And then it's like a let's go get him. And this used to only be a 3-panel page, so I sort of added like a what the fudge is that type thing with some movement lines and stuff. I'm quite pleased with that, and like put a proper background in behind it and stuff again to just kind of help position things. Drop down to there, put some white colours on them. So I was quite pleased with that, although I do need to kind of add some clever lighting effects to it still. But and then it kind of comes onto here where it sort of zooms in on what's happening, and then the fear, and then the big skelly face, big scary skelly face that took ages to draw. But yeah, I think beats what I drew originally. Very Final Fantasy-like. Vast one. But yeah, I could imagine this music in a Final Fantasy game. Ooh, a few rocks done, a few more to go. Half love drawing details like this, and half it drives me absolutely mad. It just goes on for so long. Oh, yes. Suggestion. Is a whole stone wall. Yes, that'd be you've done copy pasting the hub. Oh, that is a good idea. Right. Let's just make this a bit. Over you come. That's being more lazy. I'm liking that suggestion. Thank you very much, Zujul. Oh my goodness, come on, Sarah, brain. Zuchulbara, very good. It's not you, it's me. It's been a whole day and a little bit sleepy. That sounds like a hubby home. Is that a Tom? And streaming. Don't be naked.
Over the floor as well.
Hi, Stu. Did you get a super soaker? Yes. So, my daughter has a water event tomorrow at school, and she was instructed to bring water pistols. So now she is well armed. They're good.
Water and pistols.
Water and pistols. She wouldn't shower earlier, so I got her with the hose.
Ah. She said she would, didn't she?
What, she'd shower? I don't know whether
She
she...
cleaned that ship.
She'd what?
Cleaned that ship.
Oh, I don't know.
She was meant to do it yesterday. She
Oh,
promised me, Pinky promised me that she
Well, you
would.
better go upstairs and tell her, because I'm not sure she remembered. She took a salad up for Chip the hamster. But let us not shame her on the internet, but I don't believe she's done
Be
it.
on the internet forever.
Yeah, on the internet forever, that she didn't clean out her hamster when she was instructed to.
Oh no, you just said. No,
Oh
shame it.
my god. It's alright. Holly can deny all knowledge of us and me. I keep forgetting today is Thursday. I have Monday off work and it's throwing me completely for the rest of the week. So nearly done. Boop. Oh, we're done. I need to delete all this bit because and then I will admit I have actually started colouring this whole thing. In terms of this one now. Oh, that's actually some stairs. So I can start popping some of these base colours on.
So do we agree I'll double two and then you two get one each?
Let's grab that colour.
Mummy,
That's my name. I don't like the way you're saying that. My fans don't want me to leave my desk.
they'll be able to hear
No,
you.
no, I'm staying here safely near my... I think they were trying to lure me away to shoot me. With water pistols, I hasten to add. Nice try, you nearly got me. I predict screaming in a minute. Take it outside, children. Not near my computer, or me, or my possessions. My family better silly. can hear Tall Honey getting each other with water pistols.
Stop it.
You two better not be doing that inside. Not in the house. Hello. Look at you. I'm a bit scared to look at you. Oh my god. Did he get you with the hose?
No.
That's with the water pistols. They're that powerful.
No, he squirts it and then it like spreads out.
Oh
and
my
then
goodness. My daughter is absolutely drenched. That's very funny.
at the end of the slumber, life at the close of the sleep, facing the world with a hunger, clambering out of the deep. Blank slate, a trip to begin, look to tomorrow, clean plate, a fresh little wind, a road to follow, into the wild, into the vast, into the beauty, emerging at last, into the wild, into the fray, up and away. Gliding over the past. Sun and the rain and the thunder, cries for the world is my shrine. So many places I've wandered, so many I've yet to find. Strong hearts will master the means, firm blades and engines. Small parts I've seen in the dreams, tall towers ascending into the wild, into the vast, into the beauty emerging at last, into the wild, into the fray, up and away, gliding over the past. Strange voices lead me forward, keep guiding me into the wild. I'll take a stand, kin of the river, souls are the sands, wings on the wind, stone on the skin, together we land. Into the wild, into the vast, into the beauty emerging at last, into the wild, into the fray, up and away, gliding over the past.
Sorry, I'm miles away doing my little fire thing and playing with this new Painterly blender tool I've just found, which makes quite good fire flames. Fire flames! So yeah, apologies. I was chit-chatty earlier, Charlie, and now I'm kind of like, ooh, new toy. Do love a new toy. Where's paper pie? Let's go for that. That'll do. I think. Oh no, missed a bit. No worries, Charlie. I am probably. Oh wow, 9:15 yet. I am probably going to finish for the evening. Thank you very much, everybody. I've, pretty much finished another comic book page. That is like a high five in my book. And sorry, I got a bit quiet at the end, but I was like, oh, I might actually finish this page tonight. So that's very exciting. Which means I have now. Right, once I've saved this and gone back into my comic. Into the working drawings, that you can sort of see this whole first section of comic is completed. Well, the artwork anyway, which is exciting. So I've got odds and sods where I've started to colour bits where I've just gotten bored and jumped ahead, but it's sort of the first half and the sort of second half of the comic kind of coming together and meeting in the middle, and yeah, it's like every page is a step closer to finishing, and then I'm gonna, using my very fancy lettering guidebook, gonna have another stab at lettering this bad boy. But that is artwork finished first, lettering comes after. So thank you very much for joining me, everybody, across all of the interwebs. It has been a blast. I'm sorry again for not being too chatty at the end.